Hello, and welcome to this lesson on patrol harbours. The aim of this lesson is to teach you about patrol harbours, in particular the triangular harbour area, and also about the 5 stages of selection and occupation. The purpose of a patrol harbour is to allow us to form a base from which to mount operations. It also provides a rendezvous after infiltration into the enemy area. A patrol harbour also gives a platoon security for administration after prolonged periods of action. The most common type of patrol harbour is the triangular. Intended for occupation by a platoon, the triangular harbour area can also be used for smaller formations. However, larger groups such as a company size will most likely form 3 separate harbour areas as opposed to one large one. The benefits of a triangular harbour are all-round defence, mutual support, ease of communication, and ease of administration. There are 5 stages into selecting and occupying a harbour area. The first stage is selection. Stage 2, the occupation. Stage 3, clearance patrols. Stage 4, sentries. And the final stage is work routine. Let's now have a closer look at selection. When selecting a patrol harbour, there are a number of things that we want to look for, remembering the aims of the patrol harbour: to provide security and to enable a platoon to administer itself. First of all, are good routes in and out. It's likely that you will have been in periods of prolonged activity or in contact with the enemy. Therefore, you may have casualties, but you will almost certainly need a replen of water, rations, and ammunition. We need to make sure the site has good cover. This is cover from the air and cover from the ground. We need to make sure that we avoid detection. If our position is detected, we need to make sure we can defend it, so finding a natural area that's easy defendable. The site must have good communications. This is so the platoon commander can communicate with sections on patrol on the ground, carrying out other tasks, but also that they can receive orders from their chain of command and from the company commander. We want to select a site that is away from human habitation. We need to make sure that any locals or any farm animals don't compromise our position. And if possible, we need access to fresh running water. This may be in the form of a stream or river. If we don't, we will need to bring in any water we need, and that's for the platoon to drink, to cook with, and to wash with. There are some things that we want to avoid. We want to avoid obvious positions, any known previous enemy positions, any natural routes, any roads, tracks, or paths. We want to avoid wet or waterlogged area, and finally, we want to avoid any slopes or valleys. So where do we get this information? We have access to maps, we have access to aerial or satellite photographs, but we also have access to patrol reports. Previous patrols that have been out on the ground could assess or may have identified sites suitable for patrol harbour. Worst case, a platoon commander selects a site they wish to occupy. They could send out a reconnaissance patrol to recce the site and to test its suitability. Moving on to the occupation phase. Before we talk in detail about the occupation phase, let's just talk about the makeup of a platoon. A platoon is typically made up of 3 sections. One, 2 and 3 section. The section is led by an IC, typically of the rank corporal. They are assisted by a 2 IC, typically of a rank lance corporal. With 3 sections of 8 people, that so far is a platoon of 24. However, a platoon has an HQ, or a headquarters element. In the headquarters element sits the platoon commander, aided by the platoon sergeant, and in this instance we will also have a signaller and a runner, bringing the total to 28 people in the platoon. Once the platoon commander has selected a suitable site for the harbour, they will patrol out to occupy it. On the patrol out, they will adopt an order of march. That is typically 1 section, followed by the HQ element with the platoon commander, followed by 2 section, and finally at the rear 3 section. They will patrol out, and the first stage of the occupation phase is to adopt a snap ambush. The purpose of the snap ambush is ideally to form a triangle or an all-round defence, to watch for any enemy movement and to make sure the patrol wasn't followed. At this point, this allows the platoon commander to take off a recce party and do a final recce of the patrol harbour site. On that recce, will be the platoon commander. They will also bring the 3 section commanders, 1 each from 1, 2 and 3 section, and they will also take the runner and the signaller. Who that leaves in the snap ambush is the platoon sergeant in charge of the platoon, with the 2 ICs in charge of their sections. With the recce group going off to recce the area, what the platoon commander is checking is he's checking the site is suitable. They have brought the signaller so they can check communications to make sure the site has good communications. And also the platoon commander with the 3 section commanders is sighting the sections. In the form of a triangle, the platoon commander will lay down the line for 1 section, for 2 section, and for 3 section. They will also choose the route in and the route out. When the platoon commander is happy that he has selected the site, it's suitable, and the section commanders are comfortable with where their sections are going, they will then send back a runner and one of the section commanders to go and get the rest of the platoon. The rest of the platoon then will follow the runner and the section commander in single file, and they will occupy the harbour. From the FRV, they will come in the 6 o'clock apex. From the 6 o'clock apex, in single file, they will be led through. 1 section will be met by the 1 section commander. They will lay down their section along their line. 2 and 3 sections will follow behind. After 1 section has been laid down, They will then get to the 2-section apex, where they are met by the 2-section commander. 2-section then will go along their line, and 2-section will be laid in position. 3-section is still following behind. After 2-section has been laid, 3-section will meet their section commander at the 3-section apex, and from here 3-section will also be laid down. In this instance, the 12 o'clock position is the centre of 2-section, with 2-section being the front that faces the direction of likely enemy threat, the 6 o'clock position being our route in and our route out. We have now started to establish a track plan. This plan is the path that every member of the platoon will follow when they are transiting around the harbour.